Daniel, man, we actually saw some news coming from Netflix this week, where Netflix became the U.S. home for all the WWE archived library. Excuse me, easy for me to say. Which basically it includes all the major pay-per-views, the big four, and a lot of the old school, way old school matches that we saw back in on Peacock. Uh, this I can't remember, but was there ever a announcement like previous to this, or would this just happen? Did
Yes,
did you?
he's still
What?
muted.
You're
Don't
still
don't
muted,
don't
Daniel.
no, don't tell him.
Oh,
No, no, no. Brian did that. He muted me. I'm trying to talk. I saw him like he controlled the button or something.
I'm
Not
just
way to
surprised he
go.
knows where the mute button is, to be
Well,
honest with
I
you.
well, I don't know where it's at. Only for Daniel. I'm
Yeah,
so
Oh, okay, okay, that makes
yeah.
sense.
Anyways, what I was trying to say before I was rudely muted, by the way, Earl's the best. Is
Oh, see,
is no, there wasn't really an announcement. I think there was speculation, and some things were slowly like, oh wow, this is now over on this, and this is now over. I think they kind of moved stuff over the last couple of weeks because they noticed things were over there already. That you're in the U.S., but it wasn't an announcement until today officially, which we kind of saw the writing on the wall that Peacock was going to be, dissolving its WB partnership. I think it might still have the CW, or I'm sorry, it still might have NXT's pay-per-views right now, but
Hmm.
I have a feeling that's probably going to eventually run out too, and NXT will transfer over as well to Netflix. This is my personal opinion. I don't know that for sure, but yeah, Netflix is kind of the home for WWE for the next few years. Everywhere else, you might as well make it the US as well. I'm just waiting for the pay-per-views. Well, pay-per-views are on ESPN now, right? So the new ones. So I wonder what the time frame is before pay-per-view is on ESPN and it gets transferred over to Netflix in the US. Like, is it a month, 3 months? Like a year? Like, what's the time frame on that? So I'm wondering. You know.
hmm.
Yeah, I
Well,
haven't seen anything like nobody said anything about it, anyways.
Yeah.
I don't understand any of it. So
shocking, shocking.
I'm just saying, like, so I guess I go on Netflix and I can look for SummerSlam 1984 and pull it up and watch it.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's about it.
Pretty
If there
much.
was one
I,
in
I don't.
'84,
I.
though.
It's probably not going to be a one dump in of all these of the library at one time. I think it's going to be a slow rollout, but at least it's a one place where you can go find it all. Like,
Right.
it's interesting. I thought maybe they would move it over to something like YouTube because a lot of people like to get on YouTube and watch there, and it's easy to navigate.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Well,
but hey,
there's still a lot over there on the I think it was the WWE Vault, I think, is over
Yeah.
there on YouTube. So I think they're gonna I would think they do both.
yeah. But we
Again,
do,
I don't,
yeah.
I don't know anything about it. Yep, I think it's
uh
fantastic.
hey, it's all about streaming now,
we
apparently.
we get to check things out from the past, which is always good to reminisce. That's all.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Uh Something that we've reminisced quite a bit about in the number of years that we've had the show has been William Regal, one of the good guys in the business. But Jimmy, man, this goes back. I want to say this was right around. I want to say between Christmas and New Year's that he
Hmm.
ended up. He doesn't post a lot on the Twitter gimmick, but he did post something about like neck surgeries. Correct?
Well, he's talking in general. He was talking overall. He wasn't singling out a specific incident or a specific company. What he was talking about was the elevated risks that a lot of these young athletes are taking, and it could cause serious and severe and lasting damage to the neck and head area. That's what he was referring to. And of course, a lot of people took this and ran with it and said, why is he calling out AEW for this when it happens in WWE and it happens here and it happens? Look, we're not saying this is a a problem that exists in one company. This is a problem that happens across the board. But there was an incident at what was it? What was the name of the pay per view again? Their
Was
last
it
pay per
World's
view
End?
here, World's End. Yes, thank you. Where John Moxley hooked Kyle Fletcher while they were on the top rope. While Kyle was on the top rope and Moxley was on the second. It looked like, correct me if I'm wrong, a dragon kind of style German suplex
Mm-hmm.
where he hooks the one arm and he hooks the other arm and he goes back. And it wasn't like he released so that he could totally rotate and land flat on his stomach. That's not what happened here. He didn't release at all. So it was meant to be a German style suplex. And the landing was, gotta say it, the landing was ugly. Kyle came down straight on his head. Thank goodness at the time he was not injured. But then you don't know what the lasting effects of stuff like that is going forward. And people are using this opportunity as a whataboutism. Look, I saw this happen here. I saw this happen here. Guys, it's not about who is doing it and when. It's about everybody doing it. And we need to take care of ourselves. You need to be better at trying to spare your body from potential future injuries. And you're talking about a guy who's lived it, a guy who's earned the right to voice his opinion.
Yep.
And for you to come out there and say, well, why didn't he say anything about Braun Breaker in the War Games match, or the Doomsday Device, where he got a little bit screwy and he landed on his head? You know why he didn't say anything about that? Because he went right to him after the match and spoke to him directly. That's why. You think he didn't talk to him? He talked to him. I know for a fact William Regal went and talked to Braun Breaker afterwards about that. And I know others did too. So this isn't about, oh, why didn't he say anything? Because he's not going to go on Twitter every time somebody takes a bad bump. He made a general statement. He is completely 1,000% correct with what he says. And if you don't like it, suck it up, Buttercup, because he's not wrong. And he earned the right to voice his opinion.
I honestly think this was an innocent help cry. In other words, I think that he saw this bump that was on AEW and persisted him to say, okay, I don't do this often, but I want to do this for not only the people I work with, but the people I don't work with or used to work with, or just in general for everybody. And I think it was just to let them know that these kinds of risks sometimes aren't worth the after effects later. Like you said, Jimmy, we don't know what the after effects are going to be from that bump that we saw. I just think that he meant it in a really, really passionate, good way to the people in the business that he loves. And people take it way out of context and try and make something out of nothing. And I had no problem with it. And let me ask you a question, Jimmy.
Sure.
Daniel, you're getting there. You may have done the same thing. I know I have. But have you not taken ref bumps that you probably felt a little apprehensive about, where you're like, you know what, though, but I don't care. It's WrestleMania. Or, you know what, it's Slammiversary, or whatever it may be. I know I have. I know I've stood up in line and I've said, let me do this. Will this work? And the guys have even questioned me. The girls even questioned, you would take that? Yeah, I would. Well, you know what? There are several that I have bitten my ass about that I should have never done. And one is the over and over and over and over 360 clothesline that has damaging effects on my neck and also on my left side, where I have pinched nerves that they can't do unless they get surgically repaired.
Were they inside out? Were you doing inside out?
Yes, inside out. Yeah. Okay. And I did them over and over again. I can't tell you how many I've done. I used to do them on house shows.
The problem, you know why? Because when you did it the first time, they said, oh shit, that looks good.
Yeah.
Brian, we're going to clothesline you. Can you do the 360? What? Yeah. But no, you're right, Brian. Sometimes they'll come up to you. Are you okay with taking this? And you'll be like, sure, whatever you need.
Yep.
I understand that. But this isn't that. There's a difference between that. Somebody saying to you, hey, are you okay with taking this? They're not saying that. These guys are saying, hey, Let's do this. Let's do a brain buster off the ropes on the top turnbuckle. Let's do a power bomb onto the ring apron on the corner, on the outside, on the edge of the ring, which is like, why don't you just throw them into a brick wall?
Right.
You know what I mean? This is stuff that doesn't need to be done.
Yep.
You know, the risk reward factor is let's be honest. Everybody, and I see, and I want to punch these guys so bad now. Have you seen some of our brothers from the past and how they have mobility issues?
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have a little bit of trouble walking and stuff like that. Why is that? Because wrestling regular matches without taking those unnecessary risks are hard enough on the body. You don't have to elevate it. Okay, I'm try and draw an analogy here. And everybody says this is the evolution of the business. This is the business evolving. Just like any other sport, athletes are bigger, stronger, faster. But in sports like football, where the athletes are getting bigger, stronger, and faster, guess what else is also adapting? The equipment they wear, the protective equipment they wear. Helmets are able to absorb more punishment. The shoulder pads are able to, you know what I mean? All the equipment. Hockey's the same thing. Any other sport that requires equipment that's a physical contact sport, the equipment is evolving along with the athletes themselves. The human body has not evolved. Your head doesn't get any thicker to land on it. I'm sorry. Your skull is still your skull, and your brain is still in there rattling around.
Yep.
One thing I did want to definitely talk about, and I'm sure we'll talk about it next week too, leading up to the week of, but is the debut of TNA Impact on AMC on the 15th of January at 9 p.m. Eastern from Dallas, Texas. Brian, this is something that you and I have talked about for the better part of the last almost 4 years of this show. TNA, we've been big fans and still are of TNA wrestling. And we've been saying this from the top mountains so everybody could hear it. TNA needs a TV deal. Well, they got it now, and it's coming next Thursday.
Yes. And, I'm so super stoked and so excited. Not only for the family and friends that I have left behind at TNA, but like for guys like Daniel, like to just feel what I felt and to it's just I can't wait to put that part of my life every day, every week, not every day, but every week as an important thing for me to watch every week. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say that I didn't ever watch because I did. I watched a lot, but it wasn't priority. I wasn't looking forward to finding Access TV and trying to watch TNA Impact. I wasn't. I just wasn't. It was because of the smaller channel and that kind of thing. And I became much more intuitive to watching it more and more on Access TV as the year came to an end, knowing what was happening. But man, I can't wait to make this my Thursday routine. My Thursday routine, just like I do my Monday, my Friday, and sometimes Wednesday. And I'm going to be doing like everybody else. I'm going to be giving it a trial. I'm going to see if it's worth my every Thursday. I have no reason to not believe it, but I'm really excited to see what it does for me on my Thursday. And I just can't wait, guys. I really can't wait. I can't wait to see what it does. And I really hope, by the way, before I'm done, and I'm really hoping for the best Monday Night Raws that we can see, the best Dynamites we can see. Dynamite towards the end of the year started really getting to a different level, which I was enjoying. And I'm hoping that comes back to where they're exciting for me to think and sit down every Wednesday to watch. I want all that back. And now TNA is giving me a Thursday night that now I'm going to sit down and watch each and every single week because I want to. I don't have to go crazy to try and find it and think about it and just look. Sorry to say it. More low budget, more not worthy of watching. Okay. Now it's going to be different. And it's on a bigger stage. I just can't wait for all my friends and talent and the people backstage that we won't even see that I know are back there that are just shooting their asses off and just it's exciting. I can't even probably describe the words how Daniel feels at this point. I'm sure it can't get here fast enough. It can't get here fast enough for me either. But anyway, that's how I feel. I think it's awesome. I'm so excited.
Go ahead, Jimmy. I know you.
No, no, I'm stoked. I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm so glad because I just want everybody to succeed and do well. And I think this is a nice step forward for TNA. And like I said, I like to see everybody grow. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. And whether Brian's happy or not, I am happy for Daniel.
Look, I'm super excited about it. And
No, you're
yeah,
not.
I am, and you know what? I can't wait to be, to give respect and homage to my person who got me here, Earl Hebner. He
You know what? I'm hitting the mute button again, you little.
Maybe we should do this.
no, no. I had to do that because I could see it. He knew it was coming too. I could see it on his face. No, guys. It's exciting. It's a big deal, and and we are going to have a lot of eyes on us for the next few weeks just to see where we go. I mean, granted on the first show, but I think even then people know that it's not just going to the first show, yes, but then what about the second show and the third show and the fourth? How are we going to handle going forward? And I feel like as Carlos Silva, our president, said, we're going to might see a little more live television than before. It's still the same programming taped and live, but you're going to see a little more live in the beginning half of the year than you did last year, which is a great thing. Live TV is the best way to do it. It just costs a lot of money, so it's going to see we're going to be able to show we belong there and that you can spend the money on us. You can, and I have a feeling partnerships and sponsorships and things are going to just increase and go up because of this deal. And it's pretty awesome. We talked about it a little bit before how during the holiday season, I was watching AMC because they had a lot of holiday movies on. And there's commercials for TNA with the Hardys and Mike Santana and just in general, it was pretty cool to even see those little ads. We never got that before unless you were watching Access TV, and let's face it, no one watched Access TV, right? So it's pretty cool because I literally will be in the gym after my workout doing like a cool down on the treadmill or whatever, and I'm looking up and there's TVs going everywhere, and they always have the USA Network and they always have TNT or TBS. It's always on the channels. Like all these, there's like 15 TVs and they always have those channels on. And every single time I'm on the treadmill, I look up, there's an AEW Dynamite or Collision advertisement. Look up to the left, there's a SmackDown advertisement or Braun Strowman's whatever his show is on there. But I'm always seeing constant wrestling everywhere, and I'm like, man, I would love to see my program on there. That would be cool. I want to see TNA on there, and now that's happening. We're seeing commercials on a big stage on a big television show network. So it's pretty exciting. Pretty. I'm stoked. And next week I know we'll talk more as we lead closer to that first debut episode. But there's a lot happening. It's pretty exciting for sure.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, what sucks is that next week we won't be airing until before their debut show.
Correct. It'll be Wednesday before the Thursday.
It's true. Now I will say this, guys, just so you know, I'll throw this out there. I am available that Friday between the two. I don't know that I might have some things I'm doing that day, but we could technically film or record an episode and get it out that day talking about the debut episode if we wanted to. But we also have Genesis the very next day and then probably a lot to talk about the following week. But I'm just saying we could technically do something if you wanted to do it. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying we're doing it. I'm just saying that's an opportunity and an offer that could be available.
We'll probably need to get together and talk about that. Don't think that's a bad idea, but I know you're going to be pulling a million directions. And so I don't know if it's fair for us to have to be basically on notice and call the entire. But we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong, Daniel, but the main event has been confirmed for the 15th,
Yes, it has.
and that is Mike Santana versus Frankie Kazarian for the title, correct?
Look, he's gonna. I'm gonna get a text message if I don't say this way. So hang on here. It's Mike Santana versus the
Oh,
king of
damn it.
TNA, the TNA World Champion, Frankie Kazarian. I'm just trying to avoid getting text messages and being him yelling at me when he sees me in person.
Well, you better
next week,
say his
so.
name the way it's fucking said. He is the king.
I understand. I'm just saying. I wanted to get that out there. But yes, that's the main event.
You're worried about Frankie yelling at you?
Frankie
Well,
doesn't yell at
Is it?
people.
Well, no, wait a minute. Isn't that just another Thursday night for
That's
Daniel?
those are there for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not me. Frankie never yelled at me.
Oh, show up now. I bet he will. He don't care who you are. He's going to yell at you.
Au contraire,
But,
my friend.